See, for long years, All India Radio and Doordarshan were part of the Union government. It was as if they were a department of the Union government. Then in the 1970s, we had a terrible interlude, as it were, called the emergency. It lasted 19 months. And at that time, the government of the day, the Prime Minister of the day, controlled media to such an extent that soon after the emergency ended and the fall of that government, the Janata Party came to power and so on. Many veterans in the media and elsewhere argued for an autonomous public broadcaster, that the public broadcaster should not be part of government. So that debate picked up, and then Parliament passed what is called the Prasar Bharati Act. And with that act, Parliament said Prasar Bharati, that's the Broadcasting Corporation of India, shall be set up, and All India Radio and Doordarshan shall be managed by this autonomous corporation. So that way they hived off All India Radio and Doordarshan from government. So that's how Prasar Bharati came to be. It is now 18 years since this happened, and over the years, Prasar Bharati is working towards that noble goal that Parliament has set for it, that is to be an autonomous corporation. Now, the whole process of autonomy, after all, whether it's an individual or a family or a nation, autonomy also, I think, involves financial autonomy. For Prasar Bharati, over the years, one part of its spending, like say the previous year, budget of 4,200 crores, out of which 2,200 crores came by way of budgetary support from the Union government. We are a public broadcaster. We have certain responsibilities, national responsibilities. So it can be argued that if from government coffers some money flows into the corporation, what's the big deal? After all, we are doing a certain national service. That may be, but the fact remains that the umbilical cord, as it were, in financial terms, continues even to this day. So, in the meanwhile, it is Parliament's mandate that Prasar Bharati be an autonomous corporation, and the corporation strives to head in that direction. After I became chairman of Prasar Bharati, a lot of journalists who interviewed me, they put this question: are you autonomous? I said, sir, we are on the road to autonomy, which is the truth. You can quarrel as to where I am on that road. After 17 years, where are you? You ought to have been there and so on. But the other important thing is, I also say, please sir, please remember, there is no cut in the divider here. There is no U-turn. We are on that road to autonomy and there is no U-turn. So that is inevitable, that Prasar Bharati ultimately will be a wholly autonomous corporation. And we are a public broadcaster, so we have a lot of responsibilities which are of a national nature. And those responsibilities, All India Radio and Doordarshan carry out to the best of their abilities. One example of that I will give now, and later we can discuss. For example, today India takes pride in the fact that we are polio free, polio mukt Bharat. You could never have been polio mukt Bharat if All India Radio and Doordarshan were not to message that every 5 minutes and tell every family to take their infants to the primary health center on Sunday for administering of polio drops. If that didn't happen, India won't be polio free. So this is the responsibility of a public broadcaster in a nation like India, which is still developing and which has many other social and other problems. And I will say, as chairman of Prasar Bharati, that this responsibility has been given to Prasar Bharati by Parliament, and it's carried out in the most efficient way by Prasar Bharati. We have 23 television channels and 418 radio stations, and all of them work round the clock towards achieving certain national goals.
And those goals are, if you just very briefly, what are the goals in a nutshell?
For example, among the responsibilities that has been given to Prasar Bharati by Parliament, the first thing is to strengthen India's democratic values and institutions. This is a very big responsibility, and we have to carry that out. Second, to respect and value India's diversity. This is another very big responsibility. So these are all responsibilities that are given to Prasar Bharati. Apart from that, for example, Parliament says take note of the cultural and other diversity of India and promote and provide time and space to all these diverse cultural communities within the land. And these are responsibilities which a public broadcaster has to carry out, and it is carrying out.